part that I'm phoning right here is the bottom. The top is a little bit more complicated.
Now some are still pretty small, and then like some have just.
2022 was the largest oyster harvest since 1987. Almost all the oysters died in the 90s, and they're finally starting to come back because of so much work being done by the Chesapeake Bay Foundation and for restoration people like these guys. And so it's really beginning to pay off. And I'm so happy these students are interested in doing it.
Hampton City Schools has been doing oyster restoration for a number of years, but this year we had an opportunity to work with the Maritime Academy, and that kind of brought a different twist to our oyster restoration project. And we pulled in the Tidewater Oyster Gardeners Association, Vic Spain and Brian Ingram, who came to Hampton High School and worked with Mr. Dunn and the Maritime students here, and built cages. And it was a wonderful opportunity for them to get a hands-on experience, for us to bring real-world experiences to our Academy students.
For our PBL, we did floating cities, and I did know that oysters filtered our water, but I never thought of them as like being a food source for the floating city. So I thought that was really interesting on how we could use the oysters to bring in the food.
When it came down to, we built 20 of them, then they actually donated money back into our program, which was absolutely awesome. And the kids had a great time. So it's all about making those connections from one, philanthropy, and showing that, you know, high school kids actually care about their local environment and within their city and that. And even though they're just high school kids, or I shouldn't say just high school kids, they do have a big heart, and I always encourage my students to do the best they can.
It feels great. I love helping people and love helping out with everything. It's fun, I enjoy doing it, and I'm honestly honored to be in this position.
What came out of that was also an opportunity for the Maritime Academy students to continue to work with building oyster cages, and what they're doing now is building cages for teachers so that our oyster restoration project here in Hampton City Schools can expand to different teachers and different classrooms.
So do they look bigger than the last time you saw them, guys? 34. Did you guys
A little
see 'em?
bit.
Yeah.
Also in Hampton City Schools, in fact, right down the hallway, we have teachers that are raising oysters in their classrooms or in ecology clubs after school. We'll be visiting in a little bit Ashley Alt, who raises oysters with her ecology club. I think we now have 21 teachers in 13 different schools in Hampton City Schools who are raising oysters. And it's not just raising the oysters, they're using those oysters to teach their SOLs.
So right now I have a couple students from my ecology club measuring oysters right now over the period of the school year. We've brought them in. This is our third time having them in here, but we started with the smaller oysters, the spat, and we're measuring their growth, and eventually we're growing them in the cages that, you know, Maritime's helping to make some, but we're growing them to hopefully then release them at the end of the school year into the bay. And, you know, the purpose of the oysters is for that filtration. It's something that I'm passionate about. I'm part of groups outside of school that help with the environment, and sharing that passion and that love, hopefully to instill upon these kids that we need to take care of our planet, that our actions, there are consequences to our actions, and we need to be good stewards of the earth.
Doing even little projects like this where we take them and we measure them and we put them in cages and let them filter on their own, it's a small step, but if we all do it, we all can contribute to this big issue and hopefully have some sort of an impact.